Hey, you know what? I didn't even think about doing that little overlay thing.
Oh, for the music and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
well.
that's okay. It's all right.
Yep. So we are going to play the South Carolina debate hearing type thing that happened yesterday. It is like explosive. So y'all get ready. It's almost like popcorn worthy. Y'all gotta feel like y'all went to church. But I'm still confused on whether or not. I mean, there were so many amendments that were introduced. I just don't know exactly what they voted on. I mean, I don't know. At what we thought South Carolina was just going to ban the 7OH and synthetics. We thought that, and then but this watching this hearing, it's kind of like they went. Somebody got to one of these senators. You could totally tell, and so I don't know. I'm waiting on clarification from the AKA to find out if they could figure it out because I can't.
I'm so man, I'm worn out from certain things.
Yeah, I know you are.
I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I haven't seen this yet, so I'm prepared. I think I'm prepared.
You think?
Yeah,
You
you're never
think?
prepared for these things, dude.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit play because it kind of takes a moment to get to it.
Clerk read.
Number 4, Mr. Ford, number 4.
Mr. Ford is recognized to explain amendment number 4. Mr. Ford.
This guy, somebody got to this guy.
Sir, can you place the...
He's holding on to the.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're up here speaking about the Kratom product that we have here. So I'm up here speaking on it specifically, one, because I had quite a bit of research and some knowledge in the actual hemp sector, and I was asked to speak on this here. This is not a product that I'm very, very, very familiar with, but it took me very short amount of time to figure out that this is something we probably need to really address in some manner. So I put together 2 amendments to come up here, and we have, I believe, 7 amendments total. So we're going to have a couple different options in the path in which we want to present. So the first thing I want to bring your attention to is the documentation that's up here on the board. This comes from the FDA research paper that was conducted in 2025. So the one that we're looking at right now is 7OH. If you guys went to any of your emails, we got a bunch of emails from people that's Kratom consumers or people asking us to not ban the Kratom products itself, and then they want to delineate between natural leaf and 7OH. So 7OH, when I put it up here, is 13 to 46 times stronger than morphine. Okay, so that's something we need to probably take and note. You don't buy morphine at your gas station down the road, but yet we're letting this stuff right here to be sold. Last year, I believe in April, you guys did a Kratom Consumer Protection Act that allowed this stuff to be sold, but just behind the counter. But I'm not sure we had a full understanding of what the chemical compound or the ramifications of this was. So we bring it up to 13 to 46 times. Sir, can you change to number 2, please?
13 to
Number
46
2,
times.
DEA facts. Basically, you can read down through here. It talks about the FDA has not approved Kratom for any medicinal use, unlike medicinal marijuana. Delta-9 has quite a bit of research done to it. Kratom, metragonine specifically, which is the root compound, has very minimal research. And metragonine is the root of 7OH, or there's another pseudo-doxy something that's created by this. So this stuff actually is considered on the street gas station heroin. It's also liquid heroin, anything along those lines. Very minimal research. Sir, can you change to number 3, sir? So right here it talks about there's no over-the-counter drug. There's no real use of anything for Kratom. The NDA is submit Kratom to be treated as for no specific medical purposes whatsoever, even though it acts like an opioid. And that's exactly what it does. It acts on your human body for the endocannabinol receptor 1 and number 2 to actually work just like a painkiller of Oxycontin or anything along those lines. So we're actually allowing this stuff to be sold in the gas stations versus prescribed by a doctor. Sir, can you change to number 4? We talked about this on Tuesday of last week. It said there was minimal research. Well, this right here is an empirical, peer-reviewed research documentation from the Mayo Clinic. It's, I guess, about 15 pages, 11 pages, and it talks specifically about the uses or unsafe nature of this stuff or the ineffectiveness. And basically, they say that it's stuff we don't want on our streets, and it goes right along with the FDA wanting to put it into a controlled substance category 1. So can you change to number 5, section 9? Number 5, section 9, National Library of Medicine. We went down and we found this. This is also a peer-reviewed article. If you guys did anything with graduate studies or postgraduate, peer review is where you want to go. As a dose and frequency use, no clinical data is available to this date as of this documentation. All those surveys indicate that 5 native kratom leaf material or associated material has a low risk adverse effect for high dosage and more frequent use. So what I was starting to find out is people would use these things, they would use 2 pills over a period of time, it would lose effectiveness, they would double up, and then it would double up, and they would double up. There was some reports that I read about that one young man was a college student, was taking this thing, and he passed away on the natural leaf in gel format or gel capsule format, and it was, he had 24 or 26 gel capsules still in his stomach when the autopsy was completed. So this gets, pretty high, so we probably need to be paying attention to what's going on here. So my actual amendment that I have here, we have, going back to the hemp discussion that we had, we kept having a conversation about natural versus synthetic. So we're losing the idea of actually what synthetic means. Synthetic means a molecular structure that is identical to the natural formed structure. So natural versus synthetic, it's the same exact molecular structure. It's going to affect the body the same exact way. It has the same potency and same concentration. So we need to keep that in mind as we go through these bills. So the reason I mention that is my actual amendment takes out the full and the synthetic itself, and it focuses on the actual component no matter what, because there's no way you can make 7-OH without having the root, which is a metragonine, and then you can't make any of the other alkaloids that comes out of it without having those 2 components itself, the way I understand it. So the way we want to do this one is we want to take those out and we basically just cut those off the market, make those inaccessible to consumers of the state of South Carolina under the sales aspect. My next amendment would cut it out from the possession aspect. So we have to do the sales because there's the Kratom Protection Act in whatever section it is, Title 44, Chapter 53, Article 20. Section 2 is where that's found in our title and our statutes. So we'll go through and actually change some of that here in amendment number 5, depending on what this amendment does. I'll yield for questions if there's any questions, or to the next speaker.
Seeing no questions, the question is adoption.
Move to approve.
The question is adoption of amendment number 4. All in favor say aye. All opposed no, and the ayes have it. Amendment number 4 is adopted. Clerk will read.
Mr. Ford also has number 5.
Mr. Ford's recognized to speak on amendment number 5.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This one right here goes down through and does similar to the same thing, except for what it does is it takes those metragonine, 7-OH, and there's one other component or any synthetic, and it places it on the class 1, schedule 1 drug list, and then it repeals Title 44, Chapter 53, Article 20, which was the actual Consumer Protection Act. So it'll actually take it out to where this will be actually illegal to have it on your possession, even though you can't, buy it at this point. So if law enforcement finds it, it'll actually take it and put it into a criminal statute at that point, or criminal status.
You take
I'll
questions.
yield for question from Mr. Rutherford.
Mr. Rutherford is recognized for the first question.
Mr. Ford.
Yes, sir.
So this is currently legal in other states, correct?
I believe there's 13 or 14 states that's completely outlawed it at this point.
So only 13 states have outlawed, is that what you're saying?
I believe at this point they're trying to get their minds wrapped around it and figure out exactly the direction to take with it.
Or well, not their minds, but reality. In reality,
Yes, sir.
this is legal in other states, is that right?
Some states, yes.
Okay. Is it legal in other states, yes or no?
Yes.
So what you're trying to do is make it so that if somebody buys something in North Carolina, Virginia, wherever, and they come into South Carolina with it, you're going to put them in jail. Is that right?
Same thing we're going to do with marijuana. Yes, sir.
No, sir. Because marijuana may be legal in other states, but it's well known that it's also illegal nationally. This is not, is it?
He don't even know.
That's Case Britton right there.
Do you need
Yeah.
another microphone?
No, I don't need another microphone.
Okay.
I can answer these questions on my own.
Okay. So it's perfectly legal in other states, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And is it illegal? Is the FDA made it illegal? Yes or no?
The FDA is in the process of it. Yes.
No, they're
No,
not.
sir. Because again, has the FDA made it illegal? Yes or no?
They're in the process of it.
Then we don't need to do this, do we?
We can do it, and South Carolina can actually lead in something for a change.
We can do anything, but if the FDA is going to make it illegal, we don't need to. But the difference is, this is perfectly legal in other states. The feds have not made it illegal, so that somebody that buys it at a gas station in Virginia comes into South Carolina, and you're going to put them in jail. Is that right?
Absolutely.
And you think that that's okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For this particular component right here, absolutely. This is something we need to get off our streets.
It's a legal product in 37 other states. And when they get to South Carolina without any warning whatsoever, how long are you going to put them in jail for having it?
That's up to whatever the law is, sir.
Get out
So-
of here.
But you're making the law right now. How long are you going to put them in jail for
There's-
having something that is perfectly legal in 37 other states?
There is a section that will have penalties attached to it in that section.
But once you make it a Schedule I substance, they can't even have it on their person, something that is perfectly legal. And this may be somebody that's in college, somebody that's a lawyer, a doctor, and you want to lock them up without any warning whatsoever. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my hero. That dude standing up.
Hold on. You'll
Mr. McCravey,
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Ford,
All right.
Mr. Ford, you stepped away?
y'all gonna feel like you went to church later. Watch.
He stepped away, Mr. McCravey. Mr. Ford moves to table amendment number 5. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no, and the ayes have it. Number 5 has been tabled. Clerk will read.
It's tabled 6. Chapman and Bailey, 6.
So the bill that was just tabled was the
Amendment
possession
number
bill.
6.
Yeah.
Who's taking amendment number 6 out of this group down here? That was simple adjourned debate on amendment number 6. Clerk will read.
His name is Mr. Rutherford.
It's like my maiden name, Weatherford. I used to be called Rutherford.
Next amendment is number 7.
See all these.
McCravey, 7. McCravey.
Amendment number 7, offered by Mr. McCravey. You handling your own amendment, Mr. McCravey?
There were so many amendments, and I have no idea what the other amendments are. Yeah, Andrew. Yeah.
So far, they've only passed on the Amendment 5, right?
No. Oh, what do you mean?
Like they accepted Amendment 5 to schedule it, but not for possession.
Oh, I done forgot what amendment number that was. I think it was Amendment 4. What did Andrew say?
He
Mr.
said
McCravy
3.
moves a simple adjourned debate on amendment number 7. All in favor say aye. All
4,
opposed, no,
yeah.
and the ayes have it. Simple adjourned. Clerk will read.
Mr. McCravy has number 8.
Mr. McCravy has amendment number 8. Mr. McCravy makes a simple adjourn motion on amendment number 8. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no, and number 8 has a simple adjourn. Clerk will read.
No, Laura. This was yesterday.
Number 9, Mr. Britton. Number 9, Mr. Britton.
No.
This hearing was so
Amendment number
confusing.
9, Mr. Britton moves a simple adjourn on number 9. All in
So we
Let me
don't even
finish this
actually
one.
know what's
All in
on
favor
the
say
amendment.
aye. All opposed, no, and the ayes have it. Amendment number 9 is simple adjourn.
Nope, we don't know.
Good Lord.
Are you ready? Dave, you ready for 10? Okay.
I might speed it up. I'll just do 1.25. Yeah, somebody got to that Senator Ford guy, and
Yeah,
I
you
have
can
a feeling.
tell.
Yeah, I
You
have
can
a feeling I
tell.
know because they have the same exact talking points.
And he doesn't
Now on amendment
really
number
know.
10, clerk will read.
Number 10, Rutherford. Number 10.
Mr. Rutherford is recognized to speak on amendment number 10. Hold on a second, I'll get you one. Mr. Rutherford, you're recognized to speak.
Don't
It's like
disappoint.
they're going off on each other on the bottom. That's Case and Mr. Rutherford. Just wait. It's good. Y'all gonna feel like y'all went to church. Lawsuits and Suboxone. That's why, Jennifer.
Yeah. It depends on who
Lawsuits.
you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Loss.
got a little bit of a win for our loss.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Pope, what purpose do you rise?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Having voted on the prevailing side of adjourning debate on 3 substitute, I would move to reconsider that vote.
Mr. Pope moves to reconsider the vote on 3 substitute. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. And we're back on 3 substitute. Mr. Pope, you're up.
Oh, wow. It was.
I'm about to say thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What this does is adds the 7-OH and all the items, not the leaf, that are alkaloid, salt, isomer, compound, derivative, precursor, homolog, analog, any other preparation that is substantially chemically equivalent or identical to kratom, included but not limited to mitigrane, 7-hydroxy, which is the 7-OH, or any other synthetically derived compound of the plant. So we've heard the leaf's okay, the plant's bad. What we're doing is putting this in Schedule 1. So, I'm sorry, did I say that right? The leaf's okay, the synthetics are bad. This is putting all the compounds, analogs, and synthetics in Schedule 1. I would move for passage.
Mr. Britton wishes to be heard on the amendment.
I just want to try to clarify some things for y'all. In natural, in natural kratom, there is 2% of 7-OH, which is the chemical compound that can be souped up, juiced up to produce 15 to 46 more times potent as morphine, fentanyl, those kinds of chemicals that we've associated with controlled substances. In synthetics, that's where you're taking the natural product and juicing this up. If you ban 7-OH like we've done, that's not going to be allowed anymore. All right. So what we're trying to make sure that we're doing here is making sure that we ban synthetics because we know that those are bad. But to be completely honest, natural leaf kratom contains 2.2% of 7-OH. So that's what you need to know to make sure that you're making the right decisions for yourself here today. I don't want y'all to think that by banning the synthetics that you're getting rid of 7-OH completely, because you're not. It occurs naturally in there. So what needs to happen is, if we want to make sure that the Kratom process is done, we got to go through the process to make sure that all the synthetics are banned. And then there are some checklists. There's another amendment coming later that has specific checklists to make sure that the 7-OH stays at a certain level that is in the natural occurring. But that's just to make sure that we can separate the synthetic from the natural. And I know that's confusing. I'm so sorry that's that confusing. But just know that 7-OH does occur in natural leaf kratom.
You take questions, Mr. Britton? He has stepped away. The question is, you wish to be heard? You wish to be heard on the amendment?
Telling y'all this hearing is so confusing.
This poor guy, like he's done went to school about it, so now he's got to like school these people.
Yeah.
The question is adoption of 3 substitute. All in favor say aye. All opposed no. And the ayes have it. 3 substitute has been adopted. Clerk will read.
Amendment number 6, Chapman, Bailey.
Mr. Britt moves to table amendment number 6. All in favor say aye. All opposed no. And the ayes have it. Number 6 has been tabled. Clerk will read.
7, McGravy.
Mr. Britton moves to table amendment number 7. All in favor say aye. All opposed no, and the ayes have it. Number 7's been tabled. Clerk will read.
Number 8 is Mr. McGravy.
Mr. Britton moves to table amendment number 8. All in favor say aye. All opposed no, and amendment number 8's been tabled. Clerk will read.
9 is Mr. Britton. 9.
Mr. Britton moves to table amendment number 9. All in favor say aye. All opposed no, and amendment number 9 has been tabled. Clerk will read.
And Mr. Rutherford, you had number 10.
Mr. Rutherford, you're still up on number 10.
Here you go.
Mr. Rutherford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House. We've had a great deal of discussion, and unfortunately, most of it is misleading. If you check in South Carolina how many deaths from kratom, the so-called gas station heroin, they will tell you that they don't have a single one that is purely a death from kratom. I am told from Representative Ford that 53 nationally have occurred in the last 3 months, probably about the same as people that have been killed by their stroller. So what exactly are we doing? Well, we are fanning the flames and creating a boogeyman to tell people that we've saved them from the boogeyman. Now, again, I'm not standing here telling you that the boogeyman doesn't exist. I'm simply telling you that before we do things, we should look at the data and look at the science and then act. Not act and then look at the data and look at the science. We should put things on the board that come from reliable scientific sources, not Wikipedia. Because if we want the government to act, the government should always, always hesitate, get data, and then act. What we know is that a number of people take kratom because it relieves the pain. And in doing so, it acts as a pain reliever. And so people go and buy it, and they take it because it, in its organic form, helps them. And so this amendment makes it so that that which was created, not by man, would remain legal. If it is synthetic, then it would be banned under the law. But if it's a leaf and an extraction from that leaf, then it would remain legal. And that's it. Because that's what we should be looking to do. We should fear that which is created by man to do harm, but not that which was not. And that's what my amendment seeks to do. And Mr. Speaker, I'll take any questions.
Don't see any questions. Mr. Pope's got a question.
Thank you.
Mr. Rutherford, when you said, I just want to make sure I understand, when you said we all agree, no synthetic, no man-made, changing a molecule, all that stuff. But when you said extraction from a leaf,
well, let me clarify if I could. What I said was that if we can demonstrate that something is organic and in its organic form, and that is what is being sold, then that should remain legal. That which was created not by God, but by man, a synthetic form of it, that we should, if we believe the data that you all are putting forward, then it's okay to ban that. I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying that in listening to what the other side is saying, and I don't know if you're on that side or not, that the government, if we act, we should act on that which you all say is bad, but keep that which is organic in nature.
Okay, and what I'm trying to ask you, if I heard you say leaf, and I understand that, and I've heard people make tea, they, chew it, whatever they want to do. But the thing that concerns me, and obviously I hadn't been in the depths of your amendment, you said extraction from the leaf, and I would assume, I'm not a chemist, but I've been around a few, that you can extract 7-OH from this kratom leaf, and I assume that's not your intention when you say extraction from a leaf, right?
No, sir, I didn't say that. And if you can extract 7-OH.
You did say extract from leaf. I'm
not. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that if what you can extract from that leaf is 7-OH and it did not start off in a synthetic form, that I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. So, no, I didn't say that once you extract it, blah, 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 it should be illegal. What I'm saying is if it starts off in its organic form, that should remain legal. Period.
And what is the basis? Because God made it, it should be legal?
We can certainly start there.
Okay.
We can also go to, and this is where I've always been on anything, the government. This is not a nanny government, and it shouldn't be.
Okay, let's do one thing at a time, Mr. Rutherford. You're
well,
very good.
You asked me what the basis was, and that's my basis.
Okay, and so an opium poppy God made, so anything we extract from an opium poppy should fall into the same. So I'm not arguing. I'm trying to understand your position.
No, it's fine. It's fine because you also know better. You know that in years of data and science, we know what an opium poppy does. You all have no clue what a kratom leaf does, and that's why we put up data from Wikipedia. And there's a difference. And so what I'm saying is, once you have developed a science, once we've looked and said, hey, this is a problem, there are a number of deaths directly related to this, we need to act, but they're not. And so what we look at is the FDA, according to Mr. Ford, is looking into it. They haven't done it. They just, I think, legalized psychedelics or whatever we did with that, possibly lessening marijuana, which we still consider Schedule 1. What I'm suggesting is that this body, that government, period, should not jump just because it makes some people feel better to tell somebody they've done something. When in reality, if it was created by God and you can extract something from it which heals pain, why would we not examine it first before we make it illegal? Because as you know, once you put it on a Schedule 1, you can't do research with it. So the lies that were told last week, oh, then you can research it. You can't research it if we make it Schedule 1 because people can't touch it. As Mr. Ford said, you automatically make it so that people go to jail when they do so. If they're examining this, if the FDA is looking into it, if the state, I assume somebody's doing research, maybe not, maybe it's just the people in this room deciding what's good and bad for everybody, but that we not jump right into making something illegal that cures somebody's pain, that makes somebody feel better, the people that came to testify, that if it helps them, why are we jumping to make it illegal when looking at data, at science, in South Carolina, no one is reporting a death from kratom alone.
Okay, and now you said kratom alone. Did you receive any contact from constituents regarding kratom deaths and their family, of their spouses, of their children? I'm just simple question. Did you receive any contact?
What I got, it's interesting you brought that up.
KDA.
What I got was I was in court and a solicitor stopped me. I didn't even know about this bill. And she was almost in tears as she told me about how her life was debilitated until she found kratom. And she talked about how she could not operate but for using this substance. And so, Mr. Pope, I have not been contacted by anyone telling me about their child's death or a death related to anything, but I did the research and I saw what it was in Richland County, what it was across the state as it relates to a pure kratom death, and could not find a pure kratom death. Not conjecture, not speculation, not kratom that wasn't mixed with other substances, but pure kratom death, I couldn't find it. I believe there were, and again, this is going off of memory, Anderson reported more, 5, maybe something related to that, and there were 3 others in another county, but that's what I could find. And I could be wrong, but I can also go back and look at the data as to deaths reported from scooter accidents, and I guarantee you it'll be more. Okay. I can look at the deaths related to children playing with toys and swallowing toys that are too small for them. I guarantee you it'll be more. So I'm not saying there's not danger. There's danger in everything. There's danger in walking down the steps, but that government should not seek to immediately ban something before they have the data and the science to back it up.
So, Mr. Rutherford, and I'm going to trust you, you said you did the research. How many deaths did you see that had kratom involved? Because I know you chose your words carefully. How many solely kratom deaths? You didn't see any. How many kratom involved deaths?
That's the numbers I gave. That I believe there were 5 or maybe, it's more than that in Anderson. Anderson was the highest reported. 13 in Anderson, and another county I believe reported 3. At least the data that I could find doing the research.
So how many deaths, Mr. Rutherford, do you think are reasonable before we have enough data to do something about this problem?
Well, interesting that you pose that question, because if all 13 deaths were kratom mixed with fentanyl, then you would know that kratom wasn't the problem. So it's looking at the data and examining the science to see exactly what the problem is. But I'll also tell you this. Excuse
me, Mr. Rutherford, the first 10 minutes is up. You wish for your second?
I do, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
You're recognized for your second.
Yes, sir, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the House. So those people that are in chronic pain, I spoke about my mother earlier. And if you are in chronic pain, what you will do to fix that pain is just about anything. And if it's kratom, so be it. If it's medical marijuana, so be it. But the bottom line is, I don't know how many of those deaths had something to do with that. I don't know how many of those deaths were anything, because we didn't examine them. And before we seek to outlaw something, before government acts, it should take those steps rather than doing something because we get to tell people it feels good.
Okay, so rather than feel good, if we are in fact saving lives, what data do we need to bring back to you next time when it's okay to say we want to protect these lives?
Not next time, this time. Like, we could have done that now. Like, please understand that you know that I know this body has the ability to hold hearings. We can hold hearings and we can say, bring the scientists in before we jump, not make us jump right now, and then let's talk about the data later on. And so at some point, if we're going to suggest that, again, let's say it's 13 deaths from kratom in all of 2025, show the data as to everything that people are dying from, what those numbers are, and what it is that we're going to seek to make illegal. Because, Mr. Pope, what I assure you is this, and you know this for a fact, more people died from opioid overdoses, which are perfectly legal, than did kratom. Are you seeking to amend this bill to make those illegal?
I would love to, Mr. Rutherford, but I respect that we are where we are. DUI takes a lot of lives. Are we going to do better on DUI than it looks like we're going to?
That
we
would
want
not
to go into your bailiwick, sir.
That would not be germane to this, but certainly opioids would be. You have that power. You can create an amendment right now. And again, we continue to make oxycodone be illegal. People overdose, they crush it, they snort it, they die from it all the time, and yet this body has done nothing. And you yourself aren't seeking to amend this bill. It simply fits when y'all want to do it. Y'all, the collective. Like I said, I don't know exactly what your amendment did.
At least you didn't say you people.
Could have done that.
Could
have said you people. You people that think that government has all the answers, you people should slow down.
Yes.
Because government does not have all the answers. Government needs to sometimes listen to its constituents who are telling them, hey, I need help and I don't want to take Oxycontin. I don't want to take oxycodone because it makes me feel jittery. I don't want to take something that we know is addictive. This I can take. It allows me to operate and it helps with my pain. And so that is why this amendment is up. And that is why I would simply ask that you all pause before you do something and get the data first.
Okay, and you do know, you said we could have hearings. You know that Mr. Britton did have hearings, and he did take testimony.
So again, anecdotal testimony should have led him to the conclusion that if he's going to act, it should be that we're going to make oxycodone illegal, not kratom.
That's a good bait and switch, Mr. Rutherford. You do this every time. We're now talking about oxycodone because you don't want to talk about the issue. Because that question I have for you, if it helps somebody, I respect that. I heard that testimony. But if it's killing people too, at some point we're put here to make a decision. And just because we hadn't done enough on oxycodone doesn't mean we don't need to do enough today on what we have before.
No, sir. What I said is not a bait and switch, but reality. That if the deaths so far are kratom mixed with something else, how can you say that we've done our research? How can you say that we've done our due diligence? If the deaths so far are greater for other substances rather than kratom and you're not moving to make those illegal, how can you say you're acting on data and science and not conjecture? And that's the question. That government should not, and I know we love to be nannies, we know we are the moral police, we know more than everybody out there, we're just jumping to do all this because somebody thought it was a good idea. Well, the federal government hasn't done it. 37 states haven't done it. The deaths in South Carolina last year were, according to the data that I'm hearing from my left, 13, and those were mixed with other substances. So before we tell somebody this thing that you're getting pain relief from, this thing that's helping you with your PTSD, this thing that's helping you with your trigeminal neuralgia, you got to find something else. We know that nothing else may work, but you need to go look. That's the Christian way of doing it, is to tell somebody, you may be in pain, but you need to go find something other than this because somebody told us it's bad. Didn't tell the federal government, didn't tell 37 other states, but they told us, and so we got to jump right now.
Right. And so the loss of life, what do we tell those people?
We tell those people that we are examining, just like we should tell those people that are overdosing on oxycodone, that are taking it and stealing it and selling it, we should tell them we are looking into it. Give us the data, not just anecdotal stories, not just conjecture, and we will act. And if that data suggests that this is what we got to do, then this is what we got to do. But it's not, we have to jump first before we get the data. And so I see you, Mr. Gatch, and as soon as Mr. Pope finishes, I'll take your questions as well.
Well, I'm going to miss you, Mr. Rutherford, but I'll give you to Mr. Gatch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pope.
You'll have to wait a minute on Mr. Gatch. Mr. Ford's next.
Oh, sorry. You got permission from Mr. Britton to ask a question? Has he given people permission?
Thank you,
You got his
Representative.
permission?
Thank
I
you,
got the podium. I got the podium, not you.
So here's what I would like to
Yes,
do
sir.
is correct the record. That Wikipedia thing that I put up there was a excerpt from a FDA empirical study on page 14. Mr. Britton has it right there if you'd like to actually correct your statement on.
Oh, no,
So here's one thing that you're going to figure out.
Okay.
I'm not going to step to that podium without something to back it up.
I agree.
I'm not going to come up here and play games.
And so the beautiful part about what Mr. Ford did was he showed us data from the FDA who did not ban it. They studied it and did not ban it. And they could have, by regulation, done what he's trying to do by statute, and they chose not to. They actually studied it in a study that he put up and showed you all, and now he can't tell you why the FDA gave him that study on page 14 at the end, but yet chose not to, even by regulation, ban it. So thank you for giving me the data to suggest that government says you should pause, that you don't just jump because it says on Wikipedia on page 14, but in reality, it's an FDA study where the FDA, not Case Britton, not Representative Ford, say that they studied it, not people that are lawyers and I think you're a farmer, I'm not sure, but in reality, the actual Food and Drug Administration, key part drug, administration studied it and they did not ban it. Mr. Ford, if you come back up to the podium, can you please tell this body why they studied it and did not choose to ban it, which they could do in an instant? You can do it from the podium, not from there, because from there you got to ask questions. But go ahead.
Mr. Rutherford, good luck on your amendment here in a minute.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So again, I apologize. I did not know that the FDA had studied it until Mr. Ford indicated that and chose not to make it illegal. Why are we jumping ahead of the FDA? Maybe Mr. Britton and Mr. Ford and Mr. Pope are the experts on what it is that we should do with drugs that the FDA itself chooses not to ban. In fact, you can come back up and say, what did the FDA do to regulate it? Because if they studied it, they didn't even regulate it, then why are we? Is this the nanny government? Do we always have to jump in and do things because somebody suggests we got to do it right now, even though the FDA, and I assume it's the FDA under the current Republican administration who chose not to do it. I assume it was not the FDA under Joe Biden. Maybe it was because it's Wikipedia. I know they're kind of late, but your data, not mine. So the FDA under President Trump chose not to, but you want to do it anyway. So if somebody can come and explain why that's a good idea. Mr. Gatch, go ahead, sorry.
It's not time for Mr. Gatch yet. Mr. Chapman's next up.
I'm trying, Gil, I'm trying.
We'll get to him next, but your time is ticking. Thank goodness. Mr. Chapman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Rutherford.
Yes, sir.
Are you aware of a reporting system called SUDORS, South Carolina SUDORS, which is the South Carolina Drug Overdose State Unintentional Drug Overdose Reporting System? I know that's a big acronym.
Is it related to the FDA study? Because if it's not related to the FDA study that appeared on page 14, I assure you that I am not. Okay. What I am familiar with is the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, who, according to the data that Mr. Ford put up, has studied this issue and chose not to regulate it. So anybody that asks a question should start there. Okay. Because as I may or may not be familiar, and I'm not familiar with that agency.
So we're in the...
What I am familiar with...
Mr. Rutherford, I hate to inform you, your 20 minutes is up.
No!
We're not taking a vote on extending that. No, sir. Mr. Britton, you are recognized to speak on the amendment.
I love
to table this
him.
amendment here in a second. If you just bear with me for 1 second. I want to just kind of, I'm a little tired of doing this the way that it's been done for so many years. I really am. I want to talk about where we've gotten and how we've gotten here. We had our subcommittee meetings, and this product is bad. The synthetics are bad. I don't care what you say about it, whether it's killing people right or left. We here in this body have a duty to protect the citizens of South Carolina. We know that morphine kills, and I know we haven't made that illegal. We know that Oxycontin and oxycodone, there are horrible drugs that help with pain, are terrible things, and that people struggle with that addiction and have a tough time getting off of that stuff to the point where they take their own lives. Why would we even consider putting something back on there that has the same properties? It does the same thing. 15 times more powerful than morphine. 15 times, up to 45 times more powerful than morphine. And you want to put it on the streets. You kidding me? I got a duty to protect children out there. My children, your children. That's what I got to do up here. You want drugs? Go take them. I'm going to make them illegal up here. I understand the pain. I understand the want, the need, because I've been there. I drank every day, every single day. Didn't care one bit. I drank it. 10:59, Jimmigan's opened. At 11 o'clock, The Price is Right came on. And guess what? There I was. Now, I was told you can see your grandchildren or you can make it to about 75. I made the cognitive decision not to drink anymore. I didn't take any kratom. I didn't take anything else. I didn't take any medicine. I didn't take any pills. I quit. Quit it. Now, I understand that the withdrawal of this product is just as equal to the withdrawal from heroin. Mr. Todd, you can keep your hand up as long as you want because I'm going to walk away as soon as I'm finished. And I don't care what he has to say. I don't. I ain't putting this drug out there on the streets for kids to have. Just ain't doing it. If this body wants to do it, that's different. I'm not voting for it. You want to sell stuff that can be 45 more times more powerful than heroin, than morphine, than fentanyl. That's what y'all want to do. If you want to do that, fine. I got no problem with it. I ain't voting for it. I'm not going to give crutches to those out there that can't walk. I want to make sure that they can walk on their own 2 feet. Who are we fooling? What are we talking about here? We're talking about making sure there's a product that has the same effects of heroin, that is available in gas stations. 3,600 pills for $36. 3,600 pills for $36, and they look like little cotton candy. Now, I am very sympathetic to those that have gotten addicted to this product. But let me tell you this, I'm tired of people being addicted to it. And there's one way to make sure we don't do that anymore. We get rid of it. We ban it, all of it. There ain't nothing good about it. If it's akin to heroin and can be juiced up to be 45 more times powerful, and I know that oxycodone and oxycodone, all the stuff that's already legal is out there, but that ain't what this is about. This is about putting something else out there. Y'all want to put something else out there? Fine. I ain't doing it. Motion to table. Move to table.
He's talking about 708 though, right?
Recognized to speak.
Yes, he's talking about 7OH. He mentioned that, but he should have clarified it even further as he was up there preaching in the what's it called, pulpit. I don't know what it's called in church, but that right there. See, okay, if you guys have followed any of the South Carolina legislation that's been going on, when we watched the first hearing, Case Britton was the chairman that was sitting up there running it. You know, he was initially not on our side, you know, and then at the next hearing, he changed his mind. And then he added, or he did the amendment thing where he wanted to keep natural leaf legal, but ban 7OH and the synthetics. You know, so at this place where they're at with all the other senators, he should have clarified even further as he was up there preaching. You know, because he is totally talking about 7OH.
Yeah. And that's why he mentions like the cotton candy and all that. I mean, and he does mean well, but I think it's just a lot of emotions going on here right now. And so,
so there's so many of him. Pulpit. Okay, thank you. There was I just don't know. Like I said, I'm waiting for the AKA or
Rutherford was even talking on this amendment, the Case Britton amendment, that the 110 is the one that they're both for, I believe.
It's so confusing.
I think they're both, because he even says when Case Britton came up there, he's like, you know, trying to explain the percentages, and he's like, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I think 10 is the good one.
Is Andrew, are you still up in here? Andrew's the one that's been following this very closely. Yeah, he said get rid of it all. That's what I'm saying. It's so much flip-flopping. I just don't know. Don't put that up there. Don't put that up there. Don't put Jeff's. Yeah, we are, Jeff. No, they aren't. What do you, I forgot what I even asked you to say. Rutherford Amendment allowed 7OH still. Oh. But Rutherford was up there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So in the heat of the moment, Case Britton got up there and went ahead and said, well, even though he was describing 7OH, he went up there and said, just ban it all? So Case is against it.
Bro.
Okay, I'm going to finish it. Finish the thing. They still got it. It's so confusing. That's okay, Jeff.
It's all good, man.
On the amendment. Mr. Gatch. Mr. Britton moves to table amendment number 10. All in favor of tabling amendment number 10 say aye. All opposed, no. And the ayes have it. Amendment number 10 has been tabled. Clerk read.
We have no other amendments on 4641.
Mr. Rutherford wishes to be heard on the bill as amended. You're recognized, Mr. Rutherford.
Let me speak, ladies and gentlemen of the House. You know, at some point, when you get up here and yell, you ought to have data to back it up. You can buy 3,600 pills for $36, and yet he told you it was like heroin. Where did it say that in the FDA study? 3,600 of something for $36, and it's like heroin? Well, then how come they haven't reported more deaths?
That's 7OH.
We have to place the Bible up here.
Yeah, put a Bible
up
there.
Say, yeah, I'll talk. And make people say the truth. Because in truth, I didn't know much about this until I ran into the young lady in court. I know more now based on what the opponents have said, that what they're telling you ain't true, that you're being sold a bill of goods. Because if you can buy 3,600 pills of something for $36, and we reported 13 deaths when mixed with other things, the other things could have been alcohol, marijuana, fentanyl, cocaine, crack. Doesn't matter what it is, but I get to come up here and tell you it's like gas station heroin. The FDA study didn't say that. The FDA studied it and did not regulate it, did not ban it, but because we get up and tell people that that's what we call it, and it's 3,600 of something for $36, that it is evil. I don't have the data to back it up, so I'm not going to take questions. I'm just going to tell you that that's what I call it. It is more potent than heroin, but I'm not going to take any questions. It is killing people, and if you want to put it out there, then to give it to the kids, but don't ask me any questions because I can't answer them empirically. I can just go off of my emotion. I can just tell you what I conjectured to get you to believe something, when in reality, show me the FDA study. Show me the FDA study. Show me the science, the data. Show it to you before it is that you all act. Now again, let's be clear. I am well aware of the fact that there are those that believe that pain, that PTSD is in our heads and in our minds, and we should just get over it. But the harsh reality is, for most people with chronic pain, it simply is not that easy. And so it looks like we are on our way to doing what nanny governments do, and then we'll come up and we'll talk about ivermectin at some point, and I'm sure the nanny government will say, oh no, you got to do X, Y, and Z and sign your name and stand on your left foot, because the nanny government loves to make people do things, and it's bad and it's evil. People take it every day, but we're going to make you jump through these hoops to get it, because again, this is what the nanny government does. All I ask is that before you tell us something is bad, you don't have to use conjecture. You don't have to use anecdotes. You should simply stick with the science, because the science is what should speak. And the scientist at the FDA who studied it and didn't regulate it, didn't ban it, didn't come up with a labeling requirement like was in my amendment, that he didn't want to read, don't want to address facts, just yell and scream about what it must be really bad because 3,600 of them for $36 is really, really bad. And so, again, at some point, if we're not going to demand better than that, if we're not going to suggest that the federal officials who are looking into this, that they don't know better than we do without any scientist on staff, without any scientist studying anything, then we get what we deserve. We get what we deserve. And at some point, I'm sorry, I always felt like this body demanded more of government and expected more of government, but apparently not. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You got some questions. You want to take questions, Mr. Rutherford? Mr. Rutherford's stepped away. Mr. Chapman is recognized to speak on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to clarify Mr. Rutherford's statistics, because the statistics that I found when I started researching this 3.5 years ago, fatal overdoses of kratom were identified as cause of death. And this was done by the South Carolina Drug Overdose State Unintentional Drug Overdose Reporting System. That number from 2021 to 2023 was 168 people, listed as, right here, kratom as cause of death. That was 125 males and 43 females. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You got a question, Mr. Chapman? You take questions? Apparently not. Question is, second reading on House Bill 4641. Roll call required in order voting on the board.
It is so confusing, Andrew. Like, I love the passion, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But where the hell are you gonna get 3,600 pills for $36? What? You can't even get 3,600 kratom capsules for $36. And you definitely can't get 3,600 7OH crap for $36.
But this is just the passage. Oh,
all members voted.
This is the passage of the bill.
Of the amendment to the bill, I guess. See, I just don't know. I don't know how to answer these questions, man. I need the AKA to study this one.
All members voted to vote.
I wish that Tennessee wasn't just filled with a bunch of
all
fucking
members
morons.
voted to vote.
Yeah.
Oh.
All members voted.
But the fact that Case Britton said cotton candy, that's 7OH.
Yeah.
Time has expired. Clerk will close the polls and tabulate by vote of 87-7. House Bill 4641 receives second reading. Clerk will read.
$5,288. J.E. Johnson.
Mr. Representative Lee Hewitt moves to adjourn debate on House Bill 5288. All in favor say aye.
Okay, so they're going to the next
one. The ayes have it.
Simple.
Clerk will read.
Ready? 5504.
Yeah, Todd Rutherford.
Yeah.
Todd Rutherford, man, I tell you what, I like that guy. I like him a lot.
Okay, he's so send that to me on X, Andrew. I can't click on it here in the thing. Yeah, I mean, I like Mr. Rutherford. I do. It's like somewhere along the way it got back to conflating it.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what happened. I think in the beginning it was like, separated, and then
yeah.
Dude, I know I be messing up what I say a lot whenever I'm like getting, into what I'm saying. So it was probably just, Dude, I'll tell you what though, that's one of the best damn hearings I've seen in a long
time. Yeah.
Long time. Somebody actually knew what they was talking about and was preaching to the choir. We don't know, Tracy, what Misty was saying. She's waiting for confirmation.
Yeah, I'm waiting for confirmation. Like whatever was passed went through. What was passed, I don't know. It's still just freaking up in the air.
Yeah, if I ever meet that dude, high five, bro. Guy, it is so cold here today, and I refuse to turn my heater on in my house.
It's like 40 degrees here.
Oh, it's not that cold here, but it's like cold. It's cold enough to like. I've been thinking about turning the heater on, but I'm like, dude, it's like gonna be 90 degrees in a couple more days.
Okay, so what you sent me, Andrew, it just looks like a hold on.
I just wish more people that, were supposed to be making decisions for everybody was more like that, especially here in Tennessee.
It looks like it reads like it starts off as just a KCPA, and then it goes to contains alkaloid including but not limited to metragenine, 7-hydroxymetragenine, or any other synthetically derived compound of the plant of Matrigana speciosa. It's just so confusing.
Well, and the thing of it is too, is he kept saying that the FDA did a study on it and didn't schedule it. So he had to be not talking about 7-OH.
Right.
They did the emergency scheduling. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think he's not pro 7-OH. Because he kept saying that over and over again.
Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Section 2 amends. Yeah. So it's so dang confusing. That DEA needs to hurry up and come out with their announcement, man. I swear to God. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like me or not. I will not support 7-OH. Nope. I don't support 7-OH. If you don't like me, I don't give a goddamn fuck.
If you're on the front lines and you're fighting every day to keep keep leaf legal, and you're still pro 7-OH, you ain't paying attention.
You're not.
Or you just don't give a shit. Either one.
All the stuff we see happening in these hearings is because of 7-OH. And if you don't believe me, you need to start paying attention to legislation.
I'm excited too, boy.
I am too. You know what? I finally made that stand earlier this year that I publicly said I support a ban on 7-OH and its derivatives.
It's causing too much of a ruckus.
It's causing like I said before, it's causing what I consume to be banned.
Yeah. It's causing what saved my life and gave me my life back to be destroyed.
Yeah.
All those years of advocates that came before us destroyed all their hard work. Any decent name Kratom had for it is gone out down the toilet.
All because you want a little fucking 10-minute high or some bullshit that whatever happens, it's just a chemical in a pill.
Yeah, exactly. If they wouldn't have marketed it the way, like, you know what I'm saying? But still, it's like also not my fucking job to advocate for it. Like, I'm so tired of hearing, well, you're gonna lose some leaf if you don't advocate for it. 7-0 has got to go. It's got to go. 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 Just got to go. Go.
And I feel the same way as you, Andrew. If they wouldn't have marketed as Kratom, we would be, we would not be divided as a community.
I mean, because you don't see me prance around being anti whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to live my life. I'm just trying to keep the leaf legal. That's all I'm trying to do.
You got freaking like Dave. I don't know if Dave is still here. You got people, and Jen, they've had to go to the Tennessee Capitol. I freaking flew my big ass out there. Didn't get to testify, but I still flew out there. Because of Kratom, I flew out there. Because Kratom was still legal, I flew out there. And it's like I went out there. We have never in the history of advocacy have seen this many legislation hearings, you know, and it really took off after the FDA, DEA, and HHS press conference of July last year. That's when all these hearings really took off. And 7OH is KDA's best friend.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. Like, that's the best thing that could have happened to the KDA people is the 7OH coming out.
Yep. Matter of fact, we're fixing to have to get ready to go to another hearing right now, you know?
Yeah.
My state set, I guess you said set the trend first to ban 7OH. I didn't see one person at the Capitol fighting for 7OH. No, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. And when you do see somebody advocating for 7OH, like the main players that do, they will throw Kratom under the bus.
Yep. Seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
If you think this is so bad, then you need to go ahead and schedule Kratom too.
Mm-hmm.
If that ain't throwing Kratom under the bus, I don't know what is.
I've said this multiple times. If 7OH is truly made from Kratom, why would they throw Kratom under the bus like that?
Yeah.
To get their way. It's insane. It's freaking
speak
insane.
louder than words, man. Actions speak louder than words.
You are the company that you keep. So y'all need to pay attention to who's who in the communities. I'm not saying the community because 7OH is, we are not all Kratom.
Hell no.
Get that fucking shit out of your head right fucking now. We are not all Kratom.
7OH, synthetic 7OH products that are being marketed is not the same as Kratom. Period. Like, there's no way. No way. It's just not, that's not true. It's not happening.
Did that. They, like Max says, they did that to capture the market.
Yeah.
They did that to skirt the law because this is America. You cannot be selling over-the-counter opioid.
That's their little Trojan horse to make a buck.
Exactly.
Oh, they still is, though.
Oh, yeah, they show up, Tracy. They show up.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, well, we're gonna go for now. I have to go get
your son. Yeah,
sushi.
I have to get ready for the other hearing that we have to attend because of 7OH and KDA.
I don't know. We need to think of like a bosom buddy name for both of them. Come on. Oh, all right, everybody. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day.
Yep.